Hello there and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more. So in this video we're going to have a look at three different stories. First of all, a quick look into the Warrington game against Leigh Centurions on Thursday the 24th of June 2021. We're also going to have a look at the surprising new developments for South American Rugby League, in principle, I must admit. And COVID has reared its ugly head again at one Super League club. So Warrington played host to the Leigh Centurions on Thursday night, as Sky covered this for their 3 games in 2 days at the Hello Jones Stadium. And it was a sickener for Leigh Centurions as they went down 42 points to 16, which was 2 points better than the reverse fixture at the Leigh Centurions Stadium, Leigh Sports Village. So all the scorers are at the side of me here and will be hit there for the rest of the video, but I'm going to go through 5 points that came out of the game that made this game interesting. So early on in the game, Aquala ran in a return of a dropout, and he went through Tyrone McCarthy like a street steam train. The Leigh Centurions forward attempted to tackle high on the body of Aquala, and he was flung off. He went flying. He was knocked out. This left Tyrone McCarthy to go off for a HIA assessment, which unfortunately he failed, taking away one of Leigh's most potent strike weapons going forward. Warrington youngsters stood up and played excellent stuff against Leeds. They went about their play manfully. We were told to play rugby league and really did. Thewlis, Walker, Wrench, Ellis Longstaff all played good stuff throughout the game. Wrench and Longstaff on the left edge were a good pairing, especially when they got Tom Lynham outside, and it looked like that they didn't need him. Widdop and Austin led their young charges around and were instrumental in their massive win against Leigh. Unfortunately, they both went off the field with injuries. Blake Austin is a suspected groin injury, so could be out for some time. So this international weekend could have had more ramifications than I would have thought. Greg Inglis, they're saying that constantly he's looking to retire. His injury is taking longer than expected, as it's a bad hamstring tear. They've had a second scan on it recently. There's no chance he's retiring, as he will be back in 4 to 5 weeks. Leigh's run continues. Yes, they have something going forward, but the defence is porous. Very bad. They keep getting blitzed. But in this game, it made it more troubling. Playing essentially a B team with younger and not as physical a side, considering that they had Junior Sau, Nathan Mason, the other front row forwards who were supposedly battering rams in compared to most of the Warrington team. They didn't show up. Leigh lacked guile. They lacked leadership. Leadership just to push them around the field when going forward. They could have got more points on the night if they were getting into the right positions, and they need someone to do that. And unfortunately, the players that they got aren't quite up to the muster. It's unfortunate, but my pick to finish bottom do look doomed, and if they are not careful, they will finish bottom taking 0 points. Expansion of Rugby League. It's going on. This time in Colombia. There has been rumblings for a few months now about a South American Rugby League tournament, as there are more and more teams coming along that are playing Rugby League. And the main aim is to get involved in the Rugby League World Cup. So, there was a statement put out today, well, last couple of days. Asia Pacific Rugby League have announced that sanctioning South American Championships that is set for Colombia. Colombia has been granted in principle approval to host its first Rugby League event, the South American Championships of 2022. The event, tentatively scheduled for February 2022, would double as a qualification pathway for the 2022 America's Cup, North America being consisted of Jamaica, not America obviously, Canada and another, as well as clubs in the Central American areas. And also a qualification route to the 2025 Rugby League World Cup. The region of Jericho, part of the southwestern Antioquia, and close to the second largest city south of Colombia, has submitted a funded bid to host the South American Championships, while acknowledging the efforts of volunteers in organising previous Latin American Championships in 2016, 2017 and 2018. Asia Pacific Rugby League Chief Operating Officer Jeremy Edwards noted that the Colombian event would be unlike anything seen before. For the first time, the tournament will include International Rugby League recognised as a International Rugby League recognition as a pathway to the America's Cup and Rugby League World Cup, a guarantee of an independent draw and an independent appointment of match officials, a tournament handbook and participation agreement binding all participating nations to the same expectations and entitlements, stringent sanctioning procedures for all games to ensure that they are recognised as International Rugby League matches and participating nations earn the appropriate ranking points, increased conditions around player welfare even, and standards in hospitality. Documented agreement concerning a number of participating heritage players. So basically it's saying that they've set all these agreements out so that the tournament can go ahead and would be recognised by International Rugby League. That's one way of growing the sport. International clubs, countries from different parts of the world participating in the tournament for further competition in the North Americas, for instance, tournament, and then onto the World Cup if they're good enough. It's a pathway to build up stronger and stronger teams with a focus to getting that World Cup. International Rugby League and Asia Pacific Rugby League have been quite good with all this, as they have been partly involved, well, European Rugby League have been as well, has been involved in the builds of the MEAs and also the Pacific tournaments, when it comes to the lesser nations around Australia, Papua New Guinea and New Zealand, going further away after Samoa. Yes, all the main 8 in the Southern Hemisphere. So the statement continues, at this stage the guaranteed participants will be Colombia, Brazil and Chile, while other nations such as Argentina and Peru are a possibility if they complete international rugby league affiliation documentation in time. So there are foundations that are starting rugby league international brands in those such countries. There has now been set a deadline. I'm not sure too much about what that deadline is for them to get the accreditation in, ready for February's tournament. Nations north of the Colombia-Panama border will be deemed to belong to North America for World Cup qualification pathways. So Jeremy Edwards has come out and said, in the past decades, South and Central America have provided our sport with a strong area of growth. It's important that we encourage that growth while at the same time lifting the protocols around event management so one day these nations can hold top flight events. We have a challenging time ahead of us with the continuation of COVID, restrictions on international travel and uncertainty over the World Cup itself, but its commitment gives nations something to look forward to. I commend Colombia Rugby League for the initiative that they've shown in the bidding for the event, and to all participating nations who want to grow together during the course of staging the South American Championships. Rugby league is expanding everywhere else in the world. There are international teams coming around. It's what's happening. It's what needs to happen. It's our sport and we need to treat it as it is, a sport for everyone. This is a good first step. We all know that. We need more steps. We need more funding. We need more sponsorships. And as soon as all these nations come together and say, look, we're playing rugby league, we're all at this World Cup, it's all got TV. Like tomorrow, like the game against England and Wales for the women's side is being shown worldwide. The game for the England versus the combined All-Stars Nations team is going to be shown worldwide. It's a good first step. And in my review of the England game, I'm going to mention something that the Wales women did for their Welsh team, which is fantastic. So in the final part of this video, we'll have a look into a couple of games that have been cancelled for Hull KR. After 2 games were postponed because of this, after a further 8 players were tested positive. After 5 players tested positive for COVID-19, a further 8 players and 4 backroom staff members also contracted coronavirus at Hull Kingston Rovers. Their match at St Helens was already postponed, and now the meetings with Hull FC and Catalan Dragons have been put back. So it was scheduled for Friday, tomorrow, that Hull was supposed to play St Helens. Having already postponed this earlier this week, it came to light that the issues were getting worse and worse. It means that Hull KR's home game with Hull FC, which was scheduled for the 1st of July, and away to Catalan Dragons on the 5th of July, have been put back. Under the multiple case framework, all training of the first team has been suspended until Monday 28th of June, OKR said in a statement. After 10 days of isolating, the players can return to training under the gradual return to play protocols programme, which takes a minimum of 7 days. Minimum of an additional 7 days, Hull KR have rescheduled their meeting with Hull FC for Thursday the 15th of June, with the match live on Sky Sports. That was lucky for them to land into this empty time slot. Wait. Anyway, it's not possible to play St Helens on that weekend as St Helens are playing against Castleford in the Betfred Challenge Cup final. OKR added that further discussions will continue regarding the arrangements of the fixture, as well as a meeting with Catalan Dragons. The statement concludes, the Betfred Super League table will again be determined by win points percentage to allow for the possibility of all fixtures not being fulfilled. So yeah, 3 things. 1, coronavirus is still affecting major sports, so it will be affecting everyday life still. Go get tested. Go get vaccinated. That's 1. 2, coronavirus is affecting rugby league again. It's a big issue, and people in a big bubble like that, unless they're not in a bubble anymore, just being left to their own devices, just getting tested and checked and things like that, which is their right to do as a club, is another thing that's affecting everything. And 3, it goes again, that this weekend should have been a reset weekend for those that are not involved in the internationals. Then they could have rescheduled the games for another day. It's simple. They should do lockdown weekends for clubs so that there's rest, recuperation for those not involved in international or cup final days. They should have had this stopgap, a weekend stopgap, where they can move games to and from so that they can get players not involved, as I said, in these internationals in a bubble, so when they come back they've more than likely not got coronavirus, or they've been in isolation after having coronavirus. It's a no-brainer. We're in those stupid times, unfortunately, and then keep that week open. Whether that's to start the season a week earlier or a week later, but it should have had a 1-week break in the middle. The sport of rugby league in the Northern Hemisphere would have been better. And it would also give a chance to those players not involved in the England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales games a chance to find out what sort of actions they need to do to get into those teams. 2 weeks, 2 weekends, that's it. And then put them into isolation. Play games on the Thursday, and then you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I know what I'd do. Even play it on a Wednesday after they've had the round of fixtures. Have them all come in, have them all have the day off on a Monday, then the Tuesday, have the international, and not go back on the Monday. It's thinking, critical thinking away from what rugby league is doing now. It's sad, and it's so simple to fix. And that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Please remember to share the video worldwide so that we can get the attention that rugby league it deserves. It's not about me, this video. I'm giving you the information that's out there. You guys just share so that more and more of us can get this sport that we love out there for everyone else to learn why we love it. Anyway, in the meantime, stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next video.